Hi, everyone. My name is Dawn. I'm your astrologer here on behalf of Astromatrix to talk to you about the upcoming Mercury retrograde. This is the second Mercury retrograde phase we have had this year. The first one was in January and February in the signs of Aquarius and Capricorn. This one will occur in May and June in the signs of Gemini and Taurus. And then the final retrograde of this year will be in September and October in the signs of Libra and Virgo. So what sets this year apart from 2021 is that last year, all of the retrogrades occurred in air signs. And this year, they begin in air signs and end in earth signs. I believe that is a wonderful opportunity to use this Mercury retrograde to its fullest potential. Mercury is our planet of communication, our conscious mind, our ability to receive thoughts, process them, and communicate them. And with them reviewing these air elements and bringing it back into an earth sign, this gives us the ability to ground these thoughts into a physical manifestation, especially this particular retrograde, because Mercury began its pre-shadow at 26 degrees of Taurus, where the north node of destiny is transiting. And as it moves back into Gemini and stations retrograde at 4 degrees of Gemini on May 10th, let's keep in mind that one, Mercury is the ruler of Gemini. And so this will magnify all of the potentials, the potential for miscommunication, the potential for confusion in our thinking. It will also magnify the ability to revise and revamp these areas of the past where Mercury is moving in Gemini that our north node of destiny transited through last year. So as Mercury moves past those old points of transit in Gemini, this gives us an opportunity to perhaps take a look at some old projects, some old creative ideas, partnerships, studies, work, things that we tried to get off the ground in 2021, but they just couldn't take root. They just couldn't manifest. They couldn't grow into anything. They stayed an idea. And now that the North Node has moved into the fixed grounded earth sign of Taurus, we can perhaps revisit those old plans, those old ideas, those old projects, those old partnerships, those old studies, and revamp them, revitalize them, and perhaps bring them back from the dead, revitalize them into new life, and bring them into a material form. Because now the North Node has moved out of Gemini into Taurus, from air into a fixed earth sign. So these thoughts can now take form. These ideas can now materialize. And the reason I said bring them back to life is because another interesting component of the Mercury retrogrades this year is that all of them connect Mercury to Pluto. All three of our retrogrades have connections to Pluto in the earth sign of Capricorn. As Mercury moved into pre-shadow on April 26th at 26 degrees of Taurus, right after that, on the 28th, Mercury created an earth trine to Pluto at 28 degrees of Capricorn. And this is the final retrograde of Pluto through the dense grounded earth sign of Capricorn. So what this did is it set the stage for this Mercury retrograde to have a lot of powerful potential to really transform our thinking in terms of the structures of the past, what must be released and what can be revitalized and brought back to life. As we review those plans from last year, Pluto will purge the truth. We will know what's dead and done and needs to be laid to rest. And we will know if there are any lingering structures from our past ideas that could manifest in physical form now. And so this serves us very well. And then Mercury, during this transit, as it moves through, it stations retrograde on May 10th. It will station direct on June the 3rd, and then it will leave shadow on June the 18th. Now, during this transit, on the 21st of May, Mercury conjoins the sun, creating what is called a cazimi effect. Now, on the 21st, the sun is leaving the sign of Taurus. We are in Taurus season right now, and it will be moving into the sign of Gemini, which Mercury rules. And so that kicks off Gemini season. At that point, on the 21st, Mercury is making its way back to the sign of Taurus and will exactly conjunct our galaxy star. This is wonderful because this occurs at 0 degrees of Gemini, right on the cusp in between that earth and air sign. I love the 0 degree, even though it's considered a critical degree. It's the most positive one. It holds it's pure potentiality. It doesn't have the fear of the past or the future or the burden of the past and the fear of the future. It's pure potentiality. And when our conscious mind, Mercury, conjoins with the sun, the spark of who we are, our creativity, this could really support bringing some innovative ideas to the table as Mercury moves back into the grounded earth sign of Taurus, where the North Node is transiting. That cazimi with the sun, that Mercury connection, could light us up and create some innovative ideas as it's moving back to that stationary direct and help us to materialize some innovation, some ideas for self-sustainability for the future. Because of the connection to Pluto and Capricorn and the transit through Taurus, where the North Node is, there is a huge undertone, echoing theme of a connection to money and how we create our financial stability and resources moving forward. This will be something that I believe will come up in many areas during this retrograde. We will be looking at the structures of the past. We will be transforming our personal dynamics with money on a fundamental soul level. And as we have that ingenious cazimi at 0 degrees of Gemini and move back into the energy of Taurus, this could potentially allow us to have some innovative ideas in regards to creating abundance for the long haul, to self-sustain, to draw abundance to us with new creative projects, solo endeavors. This is a personal planet. And the sign of Taurus is about self-sustainability, having the ability to draw the resources we need to us without having to depend on an outward corporation or company or other sources of income. But it's an innovative solution that could potentially be made manifest in terms of creating that for ourselves. Now, Mercury will then move into another trine to Capricorn. This will be in effect from May the 24th through the 27th. And it perfects exactly on May the 25th when Mercury creates that second trine to Pluto at 28 degrees of Capricorn, bringing these ideas back home. Now that we had that pre-connection and this final connection in that trine to Pluto, we're able to really dig deep and examine our dynamics with our personal abundance, our finances, our self-sustainability, and transform our thinking in regards to this and ground it down into a tangible reality in this earth sign. Now, Mercury stations direct on June the 3rd. And during this station, it will be in a square to Saturn in Aquarius. A square always requires reconciliation. And this is a square to Saturn, which is the modern ruler of Capricorn and the ancient ruler of Aquarius, where it's currently transiting. Also interesting to note is that Uranus, the ruler of Aquarius, is transiting Taurus with the North Node of Destiny. And so that means that the ruler of Aquarius, where Saturn is, will be with Mercury in Taurus. This square will be more easily reconcilable because we have Uranus and Mercury in a fixed earth sign. This is Mercury, our conscious mind, and Uranus, our higher consciousness, working in tandem in this fixed earth element, which really allows us to think about Saturn, the structures for the long term, and embrace our higher thinking, to see the big picture, to think about some long-term solutions for sustainability and support, personal support. How do we support ourselves? These are the magnificent manifestations of this Mercury retrograde that could transpire through all these transits and in the square to Saturn. It challenges us to reconcile the past with the future. And then on that same day, as we finish up this retrograde phase and Mercury stations direct on the 3rd, we also have a very supportive connection from Mercury to Neptune in Pisces, which is an ever-present reminder that the divine inspiration is available when we tap into it. And with Mercury and Uranus working together, we can trust our intuition. We can trust the bigger picture insights that are coming through during this time. And that supportive connection to Neptune and Pisces also reminds us that we are very spiritually held in this process, and that connection to our higher intuitive inspiration and source energy is readily available as we complete this retrograde cycle. And so I hope that this gives you an idea of where these energies will play out. Look to where Taurus and Gemini are in your chart. Think back to some of those projects or plans that couldn't get off the ground in 2021 and see if they could possibly be revamped and they can materialize. These concepts could take form now. And this retrograde phase will finally leave the post shadow by June the 18th, and then the clarity will start to come. We will have a more concise idea of how to look back to the past and come up with some innovative solutions for creating income, sustainability, fulfillment, and a higher purpose for our future. And so I hope that this has offered you some inspiration for the upcoming Mercury retrograde. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Astromatrix so that you don't miss any of our important updates on the astrological transits. And thank you so much for the opportunity to be of service.